another video. Merry goddamn Christmas. Well, it's not Christmas yet, Christmas Day anyway, but it's in the ball court. Absolutely. The eve of Christmas. And then the add-on. The dam. The end of it. I don't know, the breach. Just think about words. There was some interesting stuff I saw about to do with Jupiter and Saturn, meanings of the word, numerology, convert numerology against the elemental table, how everything interconnects. You know, it's kind of okay looking for patterns. It's like people can't believe it, so they keep going on about it. But reality is, you know, I mean, the same patterns are throughout the whole blooming universe. You find things. So there's an intelligent connection, which brings me on perfectly to the next part of the topic. So I was sitting down, I was thinking about this virus, and I was thinking to myself, why don't they, you know, they learn things in quantum physics that they don't apply to actual science, because they treat it as a kind of fringe science. They know about the 12 monkey experiment, where you had a group of monkeys who learnt a skill on one island, and the neighbouring island, which had the same species of monkeys, instantly learnt the technique. Instantly learnt the way to figure something out. I can't remember if it was like brushing your hair with a brush or something. It wasn't something amazing. It wasn't probably like that, but it was like some sort of skill, or with a screwdriver, or doing something that it took the monkeys about an hour to figure out, whatever it was, this test. But the other ones instantly knew it, and they thought, oh, if something doesn't make sense here, we were going to test two groups and just see how they perform. But one of them seems to instantly know how to do something. It doesn't make any sense. But then subhumans are like that, you know. You could get into a car, and you could probably, some people might be able to drive it without little practice or training or anything. But anyway, where are we going with this one? So we got this COVID virus that's mutated, and it's got a few what they call variants. Yeah, I just flashed my lights, man. I guess he's got to check the other traffic. And and so the virus has learnt that the mutation needed to survive in certain conditions, and then they suddenly think, it's been spread by person to person. No, it doesn't need to, because it's got this quantum hub type thing. So all of the viruses are connected, which means if you could hurt one in a particular way using this connection, you could disrupt all of them. Like if there's a way to communicate for them to sort of basically shut themselves down in some way. But if you had that technology, you could also use it on humans as well. You can kill people with signals and stuff like that, which they kind of are trying. We've got radio signals and blasting people with all sorts of things. They definitely damage your health, give you cancer, you know, electromagnetic radiation and sound waves that are all out of sync with your natural biorhythms. Light as well, artificial light, blue light when you should be asleep and there should be no daylight. You know, all these things are there that are being used that aren't good for you. So the problem we've got with this virus is that they think, you know, if you block it in one area, that it's going to stop it, but they realise it's all over the place, because it kind of intelligently transmits this information, because via a quantum stream, basically quantum, we look at ourselves at a kind of nuclear level. We're connected to everything. You know, I don't walk around in a void. The air itself, it's got atoms in it, and so if these vibrations are a bit like sound waves, they're travelling through them, but they use a quantum tunneling, so they actually go inside the atoms and then just reappear where they want to be, which sort of buggers it up really. So it's like it's a bit like, I guess, when you get two cups and a string. As long as the string is always pulled tight between the 2 points, and so it can communicate. And that might seem a bit strange, but if you took two people and you put the same virus in them, you put one person in some situation where the virus was stressed, any mutation that occurred in that person, you'd notice that the same mutation would occur in the other person, or or the virus would at least have a similar reaction. So they'll be both going into a defensive mode of response to it. So like, oh, we need to increase the proteins. I mean, it's an intellectual thing. It's not just some mutation. Otherwise, but also should be able to demonstrate viruses that have decided not to have any proteins, or all these other things. And it does happen. It's like birth defects. So it's just got viruses that don't do anything, because it can only explore the spectrum by producing different variations. But it's not it's doing it as a kind of probing. Same with the human body. I mean, there's parts of your body that are probably less effective than others. You might look at that and think, well, why have I got all lumps of gristle or whatever you got there? And you think, what the hell's that about? It's an option basically to the body, but it's not desirable to use. So eventually it usually fades out, or it becomes a problem later on. And our cells use a similar process when they communicate to each other. There's a kind of empath type stuff, really, at that kind of level. We want to say quantum pathy, and so the QPaths basically, and you're using it at a subgenetic level. So the South African variant and the UK variant are transmitting the information across to each other collectively. And therefore the mutation would occur in anywhere. That's the problem they got now. So economic warfare against the other nations isn't going to really help, and we'll see how it all folds out. But something I was going to good think about. Any other experiments? Well, I tried this red wine. I got some red wine that was alcohol free, so it claims. It's actually got about 0.5%. It did have a boost, it did have a kind of circulation boostery effect on me, but however this morning I woke up with a cramp in my leg. It come on as soon as I started moving my leg. I thought, how do I get out of bed? It's like I feel this cramp. It's such a funny spot as well. And also I felt a good effect of it boosting my circulation, but I found a negative feeling in my head as well. I thought, bloody hell, that might mean there's something that's compromised in my head circulation wise, so something I have to work on. I mean, I've done things with the cold water therapy and stuff like that. What happens with the red wines, it's polyphenols relax your articular flow, and your arteries chill out basically and allow the blood flow to go through, but it might also highlight weaknesses, or it could make you more prone to internal bleed and other things, as well as increasing your healing and maintenance side of your body. So that it's like most things, there's a good side to it and a bad side. So if I drunk loads of these bottles of of non-alcoholic wine, eventually I'll probably get pissed. But it'll be such a slow amount. It'll be like getting drunk on shandy, and eventually it would have that negative impact. Why would you drive without any lights on? It's so bloody dark. Problem is, it's hard to judge speed when you can see an object that's dark coming towards you in the dark, or it's fairly a bit twilighty. So yeah. Oh, the only other thing I might be doing is my teeth. I've got a few broken teeth, and I'm thinking there's two options I got. I either use a polythermal plastic. I'll show you it here. And there's a broken one there, and here's a broken one there. So I either fill it in slightly so it hasn't got a crater on it, or a concave type thing in the tooth. So I either just flatten it out, but it means using a polythermal plastic and then glue it in place. And then you'd have to use heat if you want to remove it or something. Or I can file them down. But I don't trust dentists, because I think they try to cross-infect you and increase tooth decay sometimes, because it makes more money for them. Anyway, this is Pixie, signing off, and have a great one.